Yo, what's going on guys? EN77 here. In today's video, we're going to be pushing top ladder live with the best Hog EQ deck of all time in Clash Royale. Alright guys, so hopping in the first match here, we're going to be up against Riley. He is actually a fellow YouTuber, so make sure to check him out if you like log bait. Just going to go with the Hog first play here. I already know what deck he's running. Going to be log bait, might be with Cannon, might be with Tesla, could be Inferno Tower as well. I'm not really sure here, but just gonna see. Alright. So I'm just gonna be cycling stuff in the middle right now, just in case he goes with like a princess at the river. Don't really want to ever give him the opportunity to get a lot of chip with the princesses. This matchup should be pretty good for us here, but the main thing that can be annoying is the princess sometimes. You can't really always predict it when they use it at the bridge, then if you don't predict it, it just gets like so much damage, so we're just gonna have to be aware of that here. Alright, so he's gonna go with Guard's E-Spirit. Hog is actually gonna get one hit there, but he did get a princess shot, and we'd actually have to go with a Firecracker on it because we had a bit of a weird cycle. And it's never that good to use Firecracker on their princess because sometimes they can activate King Tower off of it. Luckily he didn't have like an E-Spirit in cycle there, so he wasn't able to get the King activation, but yeah, pretty good start here though. Like that one lucky Hog hit we got against the Guard's E-Spirit kind of put us in a pretty good lead here, so as long as we're applying enough pressure to where he can't rocket cycle us, we should be looking pretty good, and as long as we're blocking the princesses well enough as well. I'm just always going to be EQing here just for tower chip damage. I know our Hog won't really ever break through, but always gonna put us in a bit of a lead because I know eventually he'll start rocket cycling, and we kind of need the early lead to get to be in a good spot. And don't want to Valkyrie the back into the princess because I know he'd just rocket it if I did, so just gonna go with a Firecracker other lane instead. And we actually do have Drag Glitch on the Hog Rider. Hopefully it doesn't really cost us too much here. He's gonna defend the Hog without an Inferno Tower, but luckily we got our Firecracker to clean up the stuff pretty nicely, so we're still looking pretty good here. You know, we do have double Firecracker down as well. He's probably going to get the activated King Tower here, but he's still probably going to have to play another thing to defend here. He does go in with the Guards, but I think Firecracker should finish off pretty well. And by the way guys, today's video will be a lot longer than normal. It's kind of just like a live ladder push, and gonna see what rank we end up, hopefully really high, but yeah, just decide to do a longer video, see how you guys like it, and let me know what you guys think of these longer videos and if you want to see more of them in the future. Alright, so he's gonna have Guards plus log. We were a bit late on the EQ, so I think he's gonna defend pretty well here. And by the way guys, I think by the time this video drops, the membership will be out like the next day. So I think like within 24 hours or so of this video dropping, the membership should be up, so if you guys are interested in it, definitely be on the lookout for it. Alright, so in this matchup, this guy's going to be rocket cycling us, but I think we should be able to win here. We are only like a few EQs off winning. Was just getting like that really good EQ chip damage early on, so now he can't really come back too well from it, and he could try to rocket cycle us, but we just need 2 more EQs, and he needs like 4 more rockets, so I don't think there's really any way for him to win here. I'm even going to log on offense here, because I know we can just defend his Goblin Barrels with like a Valkyrie and stuff, so yeah. And I think he doesn't have enough elixir to defend our Hogs, so that's going to be GG for the first game here. Alright, hopping in the next match here, we're going to be up against this guy. Pretty sure I have faced this guy a few times recently. It is a bit unfortunate that he's a lot lower trophies than we are though, so if we don't beat this guy, we're probably going to lose like 45 trophies or something, but let's see what happens here. Okay, so he's going to have Barb Barrel and Tornado, so it could be like Splash Yard, could be E-Giant, or... Okay, it's actually going to be RG kind of strangely. I know people used to run those RG control decks with like NATO and stuff like that. Haven't really seen any of those decks recently, but I guess this guy is still running it, so gonna be an interesting matchup. Luckily, we do have Firecracker, though, instead of Queen, which honestly should help in this matchup, because we're not really going to give him much lightning value, because if we had, like, a Queen, he could always lightning it. I'm pretty sure he does have lightning, not really sure what other spell he'd have, so kind of just assuming that he's probably going to have it here. Yeah, he's going to have Goblin Cage as well, but luckily our Firecracker does get a bit of chip on his tower. Just have to make sure we have really good defense, because he can kind of, like, defend us really well, so we can't really allow him to get much chip damage, because if he gets in a good lead, we're kind of screwed, so just gonna Firecracker there for a bit of chip damage and also to kill the Valkyrie, but he does go in with the baby dragon on it. Okay, I was actually scared there that the baby dragon would lock on our tower, but luckily the Valkyrie came down in the final second, so looking pretty okay here. Just gonna cycle a few logs and EQs, and hopefully we can do well here. And Valkyrie actually going to get one swing on his tower, so that's actually really good for us here. And he's going to go with the bar barrel on our Tesla, but honestly probably a mistake by him, because it's just going to allow our skeletons to decimate his RG, so worked out pretty well for us here. Skeleton's going to get a bit of chip there as well, and force out the Ewis, so pretty good start here for us. Already took down like almost 1000 HP off of his tower, so looking pretty good so far in this match. We do have to be a little bit careful though, because if we're too aggressive, he can kind of punish us a bit, but luckily he does have a bit of a slow cycle, so I'm not like too worried here. Alright, so he does defend our Hog with the Goblin Cage. It is going to make a bit of counter push, but I'm not too worried, because we can just like get a Hog Rider here to kite on it, and maybe like skeletons if we need it. But yeah, just gonna let that Goblin Brawler get one shot off, because I know we have to defend his RG on the other lane anyway, so no point in completely defending that Brawler. Yeah, he actually does have Valkyrie in his deck for some reason. Not really sure why he has that over like a Lumberjack or something like that, but I'm fine with it. And Hog actually gonna score one shot there, because if you log the Goblin Cage Brawler to the side, your Hog will always get one shot off against their Goblin Cage, so worked out pretty well for us here. But since the Tesla did get a nerf, we do have to watch out a little bit more against the RGs. Yeah, because the RGs usually take the Teslas down in one less shot now, ever since the couple Tesla nerfs, so we do have to be a little bit more careful. And he's actually going to get a late NATO there. I guess he didn't have enough elixir, so our Hog will score one shot there. And yeah, Firecracker just getting so much value here. I'm just gonna go with a Valak here. He's gonna have the RG in the back there, but not really too worried. And he's gonna go with the Goblin Cage as well, but I'm pretty sure our Firecracker should clean it up pretty nicely, and it should also go for his RG after this. So looking pretty good here so far. He's gonna go with a baby dragon in the middle, but it should die pretty easily to the Tesla. Not really too worried. Have a Valkyrie down as well to finish off his RG. I'm probably gonna BM this guy a little bit, because I'm pretty sure he BM'd me last time when we faced, so why not? Alright. Yeah, so he keeps on wasting his bar barrels every time on our Tesla, so we're always like defending his RGs pretty easily with our other units, and we're always making sure to combo our Hog Riders with like a log or like an Ice Spirit, so it always gets one hit against the Goblin Cage, which is always really nice for us here. And he's gonna go with the big RG push, but honestly I'm just gonna focus on BMing him. I'm not even like too worried about this. Valkyrie should clean up pretty nicely. And ever since the RG nerf where it takes longer to log on to targets, I feel like log has been so good against it, because like when you log an RG back right as it's about to target something, it takes like 5 seconds just to shoot it when you get a log back on it. So yeah, probably gonna be a pretty good win here. He does have a lot of hog counters, but he just doesn't have the best way to break through against us, and that's gonna be GG. Alright, hopping in the next match here, we're going to be up against this guy. And by the way, guys, I do apologize if my voice sounds a bit weird, or like I sometimes stop talking, because I do have a bit of a cold. Don't know why. I guess it's just like the season for getting colds easily or something. Not really sure. It is actually pretty warm here in California, though, so not really sure why I'm sick, but I guess it happens sometimes. Alright, so this guy's going to have Giant and Fisherman. No meta deck really uses Fisherman and Giant, so not really sure what it is. Okay, it is going to be Giant Graveyard here. Honestly, we could have went with the EQ on his graveyard there, but I feel like it's usually better to go in with the Valkyrie if you can, just so that you get a bit of counter push. And yeah, like if you always EQ on defense against the graveyards, you're never going to get any counter push, and they'll always get a little bit of chip damage anyway, so usually going to be better to go with the Valkyrie on it if you can help it. Alright, so it does have Snowball too, which is a little bit annoying, because Snowball is super good at denying all the hog hits. Like, pretty much Snowball plus anything will fully counter a Hog Rider, so going to be pretty hard to get damage with the Snowball and the Fisherman, but at least we're off to a pretty good start here. Not really up too much in damage, but luckily we are going opposite lane, so that is kind of a good situation for us compared to having to go same lane. I'm just going to go with the Valkyrie on the graveyard again. The only kind of annoying thing here is that our Firecracker might die to the skeletons here. We can't really protect it. Yeah, that's the kind of one annoying thing, is that you can't really ever protect your Firecracker against those graveyard skeletons. They almost always will just end up killing the Firecracker, kind of annoyingly. Alright, so he's going to get Dark Prince off, but he's going to have to spend quite a lot there. 6 Elixir for the Dark Prince Snowball, and also the Archers after that, so going to be pretty good here for us. And we can always go Firecracker opposite lane. He doesn't have like any cheap way to kill it, like arrows or something. He's going to go with the poison, so I'm just going to Valk Hog here, because he spent a ton of Elixir, so I don't think he can really defend this too well. Okay, so he's going to get a Snowball off on it, but I think he should be pretty good here. Firecracker going to get some really nice chip there, so even though he has a ton of hog counters here, our Firecracker's just kind of carrying here. Alright, so he's actually going to go all in here. I was going to go with the hog, but I'll just let it go for now since he went all in. And Firecracker just doing work here, and we'll still get another shot off, so actually a pretty good situation for us here. And our Hog might be able to get a hit there since we went with the Ice Spirit. Yeah, gonna get one shot. Firecracker also gonna get a bit of chip damage, but we do still need like 2 EQs to finish off his tower, so you have to be a little bit safe here. But just gonna go with it here, and I'm just gonna Hog as well, forcing him to go with like a Fisherman or something. And since he just went in with the Graveyard, I don't even think he can defend that Hog, so that's gonna be GG. Okay, hopping in the next match here, we're going to be up against this guy. I think this guy's probably playing Lava. I did face him a little bit earlier, so we don't have like the best cycle to defend it, so I'm just going to try to cycle back to a Firecracker as soon as we can. And yeah, he does have the Tombstone, so probably going to be Lava here. And I'm pretty sure he's using the... Okay, he's using the version with like Fireball bait, so probably going to be even harder than Lava Loon, because he does have like the arrows in there, and he does have like Flying Machine, which is pretty difficult to kill, so just gonna see what happens here. And I'm gonna go with a Hog and then a Firecracker at the same time. Yeah, so he did have a bit of a delay on the arrows because we went in with the Hog at the exact same time, and I think he actually went with the Skelly King ability there, but it actually didn't register because the Skelly King died right as we went in with the, or right as he went in with the ability, so I'm pretty sure he just wasted 2 Elixir. And yeah, we're off to a pretty good start here. He does have arrows for our Firecracker, which is pretty annoying, but we should be able to outcycle his arrows, so not looking too bad here. And he's going to get a Tombstone down just in time. I honestly could have went with the EQ on the Tombstone, but I feel like it's not really worth it since he already had the Skelly Drags down. The Hog probably would have pretty much died anyways, even if we didn't go with it, so... Alright, so I'm just going to go with the Valkyrie just to apply a bit of pressure, make sure he can't go in with the Lava right away. And luckily the Skelly King actually got distracted kind of weirdly, so not really going to do too much for him. We do have to tank the Flying Machine with the Hog Rider though, I don't really want to eat a full Flying Machine. But luckily we do get 1 Hog hit there and do force out the Mega Minions, so actually a super good start here, but it's going to be super tricky to defend in double Elixir, so... not really sure if we can defend well. We did actually not place the Ice Spirit the best, so Mega Minion is going to get 1 hit, but I'm not really too worried there. I could have went in with the late Skeletons, but I kind of just wanted to save them just so I can cycle back to a second Firecracker as soon as possible. Alright, so luckily in this version of Hog EQ, we do actually have the Valkyrie, which is super nice against the Skeleton King. I was kind of missing the Valkyrie quite a lot when I was using the the version with Night Bomb Tower, because it's just a lot worse against Skelly teams, so nice to have it back, and gonna allow for a pretty good defense here. We do have to be a bit careful of those Skelly drags, but luckily the Hog is gonna kite them back, I think. Okay, this is gonna be really close here. We're gonna get a Tesla off, though. Hopefully we can snipe, like, the Flying Machine, maybe the Skelly drags as well. And yeah. Okay, so it doesn't actually go with the arrows there, so this should be GG here if we just cycle a couple EQs. Gonna go with a log here as well, predicting a tombstone. And yeah, he has no way to defend that, so that's gonna be GG. Alright, hopping in the next match here, we're gonna be up against Pompeo. One of the best Loon players in the world, so he's probably gonna be playing Balloon here. I know he did switch to Lava recently as well, so he could be running Lava, but I'm just gonna have to wait and see here. So he does have Inferno Dragon and Zap, so probably gonna be the typical Pompeo deck. Not really sure what else he could be running here. And yeah, seeing the Fireball and the Zap, probably gonna be that. I'm just gonna go with the Hog here. Don't really want to waste our Valkyrie trying to distract the Inferno Dragon, and it is gonna give us one Hog hit as well, so pretty good here. And this matchup should honestly be quite a bit better after the Loon nerf, because the Tesla's always gonna survive 2 Loon shots, so it's always gonna get a lot more damage off from the Loon before it dies. So I feel like the Loon nerf is honestly pretty bad for Loon cycle decks, but it probably isn't too bad for a Lava Loon, because they can always just like combo down the buildings with like arrows or like a bit of lava chip. But with the Balloon cycle decks, they don't really have as many options, so probably gonna hurt him a good amount here. I think this matchup isn't actually too good, but might have got a lot better after the nerf to the Balloon, so gonna see how it is here. And our Hog is always sneaking in those lucky hits here, so pretty good for us. I'm not really too worried about his Skelly King or anything. He doesn't even have like too many units that can actually like feed the ability, so it's unlikely that he'll even get the ability fully charged most of the time, so should be pretty good. Unfortunately, the Firecracker does die there, but Hog is going to score one shot there, which is pretty nice for us. Honestly, the only thing we have to watch out for here is for the bats, because the bats can be a bit annoying. Like, I'm sure you guys all had it happen at one point where the bats will just like push the Balloon out of range of like a Tesla or something. So we do have to be careful with him trying to like push the Balloon out of Tesla's sight range. So that's gonna be the only worry here. And honestly, this push would actually be super hard to defend before the Balloon nerf, but I think after the Loon nerf, we should actually be able to defend this pretty well. And he actually does miss the Firecracker there. And the Skeletons actually come down just in time to block the Inferno Dragon, which is really good for us. Honestly, couldn't have had a better defense right there, so really good for us right now. Yeah, Firecracker always getting a ton of value here. We just have to make sure to have as many Firecrackers down as possible, because it is going to be a little bit annoying to defend his Inferno Dragons at least. But yeah, just gonna pre-place that Tesla there, but we are gonna already get back to another Tesla, so I think we should be good here. He's gonna Fireball, but wasn't able to hit both of them. It looks like that Fireball will allow him to get one Loon drop, but shouldn't really matter too much here. Yeah. Because Loon does do a lot less damage now, so all that did was just like even out the damage on both sides. Didn't really allow him to get any lead or anything like that. And luckily the Skelly King doesn't come quite close enough to splash the Tesla, so should be able to perfectly counter the Loon here. And Hog is actually gonna get looks like 2 hits there, so we just need a couple EQs at this point. That's probably gonna be GG here in a bit. Yeah, it's a really nice win here. Honestly, normally this matchup could be pretty difficult before the balance changes, but I guess after them it's actually pretty good now, ever since the Loon nerf. Alright, hopping in the next match here, we're going to be facing this guy. Have faced this guy a ton on the channel recently. He usually does play cycle decks, and looks like he's going to be running Royal Hogs here, so this will be a pretty solid matchup, I think. The only kind of annoying thing can be the Archer Queen sometimes, but besides that, he probably is running Cannon in this deck, so should be pretty good here. He's going to go with the Log, but Ice Spirit just so good against the Archer Queen, so we're going to deny all damage from the Queen there. The only kind of annoying part here is that sometimes they can go with like a Cannon in the opposite lane of the Hog Rider, and then like push it with like a Skeletons or Fire Spirit to go in the opposite lane. Yeah, like they can do that placement even when you place the Hog all the way to the right if they just go with like a Skeletons or something to push the Hog, so that can be a little bit annoying sometimes because then it goes out of EQ and tower range, so you can't like hit both of them at once with the EQ, which is a little bit annoying, but besides that we should be pretty good here. And I'm just going to try to pull the Ice Spirit Skeletons trick off on his Queen. It looks like we're going to get it there. I'm going to fully shut down his Queen before he was able to activate the ability, so pretty good stuff here. Looks like we did catch him without the Cannon in cycle, so our Hog will get one shot there. And he did have to waste quite a bit of Elixir still to defend that Hog. He had to go with like Delivery, Log, and Skeletons, so we're already off to a pretty good start here. And even though it is a pretty easy matchup, it's still good to show though, because sometimes Queen can be a bit tricky. This matchup should be pretty easy for you guys though, unless you face like a really good Royal Hogs player, because the better they get, the harder this matchup can feel. Like, if there's like an average Hog player versus an average Royal Hogs player, it's usually pretty easy in this matchup, but if both players are super good, it's actually usually a bit better for Royal Hogs than you might expect, so always have to watch out. It's honestly never a free win against Queen decks, even if you do seemingly have a counter, because they always can find a way to, I don't know, kind of get lucky versus you with a bit of Queen action, so yeah. And I think we are going to outcycle his Cannon there. Okay, so he does get it down in the last second, but we're still ahead of him in cycle a little bit, and up quite a lot of damage here. I'm not really ever worried about defending his Royal Hogs, because I know we can always either use Tesla, or we can just go in with the Valkyrie plus Log to fully counter them, so I have quite a few options here. The only kind of like a bit worrisome thing is that he does have the really fast 3-card cycle while using the Queen, so always going to be a little bit risky facing the Queen. Yeah, so he's going to get a bit of a Hoggies lock there, but it is in the opposite lane that he was going for, so not really going to put him in any type of lead there. And it's really nice that that Cannon fully dies to EQ, so it's always super easy to get chip damage in this matchup. As long as you're careful against the Queen, you should be looking pretty good against this Royal Hogs deck. And honestly, it's really nice to run Hog EQ, because I feel like the Royal Hogs deck beats most of the decks in the game right now, so it's nice to be running like one of the few decks that can actually beat Royal Hogs. And that's going to be game right there. Okay, hopping in the next match here, we're going to be up against this guy. We're not going to have Hog in our starting hand right now, so we're just going to cycle to it. I'm going to go with it right here. Okay, so he's going to split Bats. He's going to have Dark Prince as well, so probably going to be Giant Graveyard here. I can already tell pretty early, because no other deck really runs Bats and Dark Prince, except maybe like some weird Giant Double Prince version with Goblin Giant, but yeah, he's going to go with the early Graveyard there. Honestly, not going to do too much for him, though. Luckily, I think the Dark Prince won't splash here, so pretty good defense, and we do get a couple lucky Hog hits early on, so gonna put us in a pretty good spot here. It is a bit more dicey, though, having Firecracker over Queen, because he can always just arrow our Firecracker away, so it does make it a little bit more tricky, but having Valkyrie overnight is also pretty nice in this matchup, so I'm not too worried here. And Muskie is unfortunately gonna get the shot on our Firecracker, but should be fine here. Honestly, ever since the Muskie buff, I feel like it has actually been so good, but the only reason you probably don't see it as often as you'd expect is just because of how OP Queen is. I still feel like Queen is a lot better than Musketeer, even though Musketeer is actually a really good card right now after the buff. It kind of shoots like a machine gun. Alright, so we are up a good amount of damage. You're going to Ice Spirit as well. Valkyrie probably won't get a hit here, but Still in a pretty good spot. And he's going to go with the Skarmy, so I'm just going to go with a Hog to kite it. Gonna log as well, just in case he went with like the early snowball and tried to get away without using the Musketeer. But our Hog will still get one hit there just because of how far back he played the Musketeer, so really good stuff here. And now I'm just gonna stack Firecrackers, even if he starts going with like arrows on them. I know we can always just cycle back to a few more, so not really too worried here. And was actually pretty good by us to cycle the Valkyrie a bit farther back, because I was kind of expecting him to go with the arrows on the first Firecracker, so worked out pretty well for us. And now we already have another Firecracker. I'm just going to go with the EQ here, because I know we're up a good amount, and had the Firecracker and the Valkyrie down, so no reason not to be a little bit aggressive. And he's going to go in with the Graveyard here. It's going to be a little bit tricky. We do have to watch out for that Musketeer, because we had to use the Valkyrie on defense, but looks like Log is going to finish it off. He will get a bit of chip damage, but we're still in a pretty firm lead here. Kind of just abusing the Firecracker in this matchup, so that's kind of what you have to do. Like, it's really nice to have like the really good field control with the Firecracker. That's like the reason that I really like playing it, and that's going to be a pretty easy win here against Giant Graveyard. Alright, hopping in the next match, you're going to be up against this guy. Pretty sure he's a German-Turkish player, so yeah. And he does usually play Mega Knight Ram Rider, so not sure what he's actually using here, because it looks like he doesn't have Mega Knight, seeing like the EQ and the log and the cycle cards. He does have EQ, so probably going to be Royal Hogs. Could actually be... Okay, so he does have Bomb Tower, so it's actually probably going to be a Hog mirror matchup here. I guess he decided to try out Hog. But yeah, Firecracker going to get some chip on his tower, but it kind of backfired on us a bit as well, because it did activate his King Tower, which is a bit annoying here, but I think we actually might have outcycled him here, so... Okay, so he does get the Bomb Tower down in time, but I feel like we kind of got him in a bit of an awkward cycle, so... looks like we're still going to get some good damage here. Yeah, Firecracker's going to splash as well, so... yeah, really good play by us there, putting us in a super firm lead right now. And honestly, this matchup isn't even good, because I feel like... like, one of the top reasons I like using Queen is just because of the 3-card cycle, so it also helps a lot in Hog mirror matchups to have Archer Queen over Firecracker. Also doesn't give the opponent the early King activation, like Firecracker sometimes can, so... probably a pretty good matchup for him, but we kind of just, like, got him in a really bad spot early on, so... yeah, we could very well... We could very well win just off of that start, I think, so... yeah, really good start there, just kind of recognizing that he had a bit of an awkward cycle to defend, and we got like a ton of damage off of that. And even though he does have, the one benefit we do have is that we have Tesla over Bomb Tower, so we can never like EQ the Tesla and the tower at the same time, at least if we play our Tesla in the right spot, but it is also pretty fine for him to have Bomb Tower, because he can always defend our Hogs perfectly with a Bomb Tower, even if we go in with the EQ on it, so it doesn't really matter too much. And also, when he has the activated King Tower, we just don't really have any chance to break through if he plays well, so we can only really get EQ chip damage, but with the good start we had, I don't think it should be a problem here. Yeah, so... as long as we don't take any Hog hits or like any Archer Queen hits, we should be looking pretty good here. Just gonna stack the Firecracker in the same lane as the Queen, make him maybe use the ability earlier than he'd like to, which could be pretty good for us. And I did go with the early Tesla there. I was kind of expecting him to go with like a Hog at the river. He does make the smart play of going with it in the back, so might actually be pretty good for him here, but... okay, so he's actually going to get a ton of stuff down here, but we should be able to clean up with a Valkyrie log, I'm hoping. Okay, that was actually a lot more damage than I would have liked to take, so it is a bit closer now. And he's going to get the High Queen to snipe the Valkyrie, so I'm just going to go with the Hog here. Going to EQ as well. Queen does unfortunately target the Hog, but luckily that'll allow our Valkyrie to kill most of his Queens, so not really too bad for us here. Yeah, so I guess the Tesla was a bit of a misplay by us, but honestly it doesn't really matter too much here, I think. He's gonna get a late bomb tower, but we are kind of like catching him out of cycle little by little. So yeah. Okay, so we just need like 3 more EQs. As long as we stay up in cycle with our Teslas always in hand for his Hog Riders, we should be looking pretty good here. And he's gonna go with the Queen at the ridge, but Valkyrie is gonna splash the Knight and the Queen, so gonna finish that off pretty easily here. Now we just need like 2 EQs, or like, I think Log won't do enough here. Log only does 1/16, so we do need 1 more EQ here. He's gonna try to EQ our Tesla, but probably not really gonna work out for him. It's never really worth it to EQ the Tesla by itself, to be honest. And yeah, that's gonna be GG. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!